Howdy, 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 everybody, and welcome to the iRacing Formula 3.5 Challenge here at Silverstone. It's the first round of the 2020 Season 4, and there isn't a better place to start at than probably the granddaddy of them all of Grand Prix circuits. I'm Austin I'm joined by Avery McDonald, and I have Marco Barbanera up there in the production booth, and we're getting ready to go racing for round 1 of 12.
Yeah, Austin, it's so good to be back to this Formula 3.5 challenge. I mean, we have some of the top drivers on all of iRacing here again for another great season here on Apex Racing TV. We're bringing you the whole season. We're starting here week 1 at Silverstone. I'm just excited, man.
Yeah, and they've been improving on the cars even more now. Last time they totally revamped the cars in the middle of the season. Well, in the update patch notes, they gave the Formula 3.5 a little bit more love with 70% damping on them. So the car is not a kangaroo anymore. So the car is even more fun to drive now. When I was talking with all the drivers right now, and they are incredibly pleased with it.
Yeah, the drivers are real pleased. I know you've had some time, with this car, and where it was a couple seasons ago to where it is now. I mean, the racing it's just gonna be great. We have a lot of talent here. Tim Delisle so far, the fastest by only a half a second right now. But some drivers still need to put their time in.
It is definitely probably same story, same place, but this car is becoming most rapidly the most fun car on the grid. I've been very active in the community, watching people's feedback when the first time they get into this car, and my goodness, are their minds blown on how fun this car really is.
Oh, absolutely. I put all the time on the car, even though it's about a lot of time off the pace. But yeah, it's really been fun for me to drive, but it's even been more fun to watch these talented drivers battle it out. We've always had great races with this series, and Silverstone is not going to disappoint.
Yeah, Silverstone not disappointing at all. It always provides close battles because not a lot of slow speed sections, so it's going to be a lot of fast battling and following with these guys, and it's going to be very hard for some leaders to try to pull out a gap unless something massive happens in the arena section. As Tim Delisle comes across the line with a 1:45.85, 0.6 faster than Greg Olson. Christopher Herberto jumps up into second with a 1:40.41. He gets sniped by James J. Pinsker, who jumps up into second with a 1:49.81. I was talking with Edward Samborski, actually, and Samborski was also driving with Tim Delisle in an earlier round. He was having a close fight, so all these guys very close to each other. This is Cedric Bill right now. He's coming around into the Royal Chicane before getting ready to go and finish out his second lap. His first lap was invalidated, so here's Cedric Bill across the line. Cedric, only 22nd. That was a banker lap for him.
Yeah, just wasn't the best lap for Cedric, but he'll quick it up for this race. Look at Enrique, who's had really finished the season strong last season, Austin, and up into the top 10 and qualifying time. Great run for him.
I see he's adapted the James J. Pinsker paint job of all black.
Yeah, James had some luck with that paint scheme, so maybe Enrique is trying to, get that luck to rub off on him and get another good run. But take a look at Omar Baja here. Really talking about a driver who really didn't have much luck most of last season. He's hoping to get that to turn around with a 16th position in the qualifying.
Indeed, and as everyone finishes out their times, Antonio Navarro, the last car that is finishing his time, he just came across the line, and he's gonna jump up to 17th, and that leaves Robert Charlton and Romero Guerra not gonna qualify at all. But this is gonna be the biggest grid we've had starting a Formula 3.5 challenge of 25 cars.
Yeah, 25 cars. So far, 23 drivers that put down an attempt. I don't believe Tarleton or Romero is going to put even try to attempt to put a time down. So they're just going to try to start in the back, and if try to just snake their way through.
Snake their way through, get a good start, and you know, see what happens here. We run on board Dylan Freckleton. He's getting some extra practice laps in there, but he's going to get kicked in 3, 2, 1 as we transition over to the grid. There he goes. And here is your starting grid for race number 1 here at Silverstone. Tim DeLisle starts up on pole. James J. Pinskier starts right beside him. They're followed by Christopher Herberto, Greg Olson, Edward Samborski, Paul Ilbrink, Samuel Pizzica, Theodore Burns, Fabio Ducarmo, Jason Henrique, Rob Crouch, and Sander Dignam in 12th. They're followed by Shane Russell, John McHutchison, Pete Tinkler, Omar Baja, Antonio Navarro, Luke Groom, Josh Stewart, Dylan Freckleton, Steve Honan in 21st, Cedric Bill, Dave Martin, Robert Tarleton, and Ramiro Guerra at the end of the grid. And this grid is packed full of cars right now. Drivers from all over the world. And, ooh-wee, it's going to get exciting.
Yeah, we got a stacked field. I mean, you're going to have a lot of close racing throughout the whole entire field. But I'll tell you what, Austin, it's so good to see these cars finally grid for Formula 3.5 after a week away of the week 14, I guess. Was that what they called it? I was gone for a couple weeks, but it's so great to have these cars back on the grid for another great battle here at Silverstone.
It was week 14. The funny thing is, as we were looking at everyone spawning in right now, Tim DeLisle and James didn't get onto the front grid immediately, and I was looking at a wrong car. But no, we are just waiting for James and Paul to get onto the grid right now. And they have 10 seconds to do so. And there's James. And James has got a fancy new paint scheme. But we'll talk about that some later as the 5 red lights are coming on. And we're going green flag racing for the Formula 3.5 Championship here at Silverstone to start off Season 4. And what a start by Christopher Herberto. Already jumped around the outside of James A. Pinskier. Bring up in that mix. Everyone going side by side, almost 2 wide, maybe some 3 wide in the background. We do have a spinner though, and that was Antonio Navarro and Joshua Stewart.
The only 2 cars collected up in there, but pretty so far, clean so far. DeLisle, Herberto, and Pinks are your top 3.
Yeah, Herberto made a great start off the line, immediately jumping James J. Pinskier. We're looking down the field at a few of these guys as they head through Brooklands right now. Right behind of Theodore Burns.
Yeah, on the start, you definitely need to make an aggressive move to get a position. Definitely when you're from that top 3 or top 5, because those drivers are quick. And Pinkston kind of slipped a little bit, which allowed Herberto to get to the outside of him and just kind of pull away. What a great start for him. But look at DeLisle just cruising.
Yeah, DeLisle doing what he does best, leading out a race. But can Herberto stay with him and stay in that draft? And can Pinskier get back into second? And that newly painted Benson and Hedges Jordan that he's running.
Yeah, it looks good.
Looks nice. I still believe he's a free agent, though, but, didn't want to stay with that all-black livery. And, oh, my goodness! We have cars flying all over the place. Dang. Martin, Tarleton, Tinkler, Bill, Guerrera, Stewart, Russell, and Steve Honan. I think 16th and 17th were all involved in there. Let's see what happened to Steve Honan right here. And you can already hear it all going bad in front of him. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I believe Sander was near the front of it. an early breaking point, and I think somebody just hit that curb, and boom, around he went. 1, 2, 3, 4 cars, and then, oh man. Lap 1 is crazy, and Theodore burns us off. And oh, around goes Greg Olson. And Sam Borski went extremely wide as well. Was that Sam Borski and Olson? Yeah, I think that was Sam Borski and Olson colliding. And yeah, Sam Borski, massive wing damage right there in front of him. Fabio Di Carmo racing cleanly in front of these guys. And, well, this first few laps are absolute carnage. What's happened right here? Sam Borski looking down low, and oh my goodness, there was no room for Sam Borski to make that move.
Yeah, he was probably hoping Greg was going to go a little bit more wide, but taking on board from DeCarmo.
Well, Sam Borski had an amazing run, and then in his defense, Olsen just kind of drove straight into him with Sam Borski having that massive run, but that corner is so narrow. If both of you are going for it, it's just insane. Sam Borski gets into the pit lane. A lot of these guys are upset at these incidents, and I wouldn't blame them.
Yeah, but take a look at Tim Delisle out in front. Currently the quickest time of the day is set by James J. Pinkster, who's in third. But it's Delisle, Harbino, Pinkster, and Elbrink top four. So, I mean, great run for Elbrink. You know, he didn't have the best qualifying time, but he's worked his way up. We're taking a look at the battle with Sander, Martin, and Bill. Bill leading that little pack.
Drivers in pit lane right now coming out. Here comes Sam Borski. He's got to fix that wing damage straight up. Somebody, I'm not sure of who's in voice chat, but they are very not happy with people swerving down the straight right now.
And great run by, you know, Delisle obviously having a great run, but Harbino and Pinkster are still in just striking distance. And, you know, maybe, I don't know if Tim is saving his DRS. I know he likes to save it towards the end of the race. We're on board here with Pinkster with that. You know, that car is a little bit different looking. If you saw earlier, I believe the wing is still the same wing from before.
I believe you're right. But Pinkster, Harbino, and Delisle all staying within that draft, and Tim Delisle, knowing him, he's going to be saving his DRS all the way to the last 8 laps, maybe the last 4, and use them on both of these straights. And, oh, Harbino laid on the brakes, almost getting into the back of Delisle. And, ooh, Delisle, big spin! Oh, big wiggle, almost a spin, and here comes Harbino around the outside, using that speed to his advantage, and Delisle opening up DRS, trying to stay in that lead. Here comes Pinkster, 3 wide for the lead into Brooklands. Pinkster, Harbino, Pinkster onto the inside, Harbino around the outside, Harbino down onto the inside, Pinkster holding it on to the outside. Who's going to have the better exit? It's going to be Harbino by a car like that. Harbino's going to hold off Pinkster, but Pinkster's going to have the speed. Oh no, goes Pinkster, and he is Delisle.
Oh, you hate to see it. Oh.
And Delisle's got wing damage, and here comes Paul Ilbrink. Charging up into second place. That did not just happen. And Paul Ilbrink knows Delisle has a problem.
Oh, man.
He ended last season with an incident. He starts this season with an incident. Oh, this could be the beginning of something incredible for this season.
Yeah, I mean, what a great move by Harbino to get the lead there. And, you know, I don't blame James Pinkster for making that move. You got to make that move. Tim does not make very many mistakes. If you have an opportunity to make a pass like that, and, you know, just kind of went off the track a little bit, and unfortunately got into Delisle, but great move by Harbino to take that lead. Wow.
Yeah, Harbino took advantage of a mistake, and then unfortunately a mistake took Delisle. But let's ride on board with Tim Delisle right here As there goes James Pincer around the outside, got into the grass a little bit, big wiggle, and just nowhere that Tim could go. And you can see that wing damage popping up for him right there.
Yeah, you know, and yeah, you know, James kind of, you know, got into the gravel, but you know, you have to make that move when Tim makes a mistake. You have to make it. If you don't make that move, I mean, he's just gonna drive away. So, you know, that's how important it is to race clean, with no incidents, or just run nice and consistent.
Somebody who's been racing, well, not so clean, has a few drivers angry at him right now, but that is Rowdy Simone Pizzica, who swooped down to the inside of Delisle to jump up into third place. And now here goes Pacer 3 wide as they head into these famous S's, which names always forget me. But I do know the last one's named Chapel.
Good run.
Maggots and Beckett's, thank you.
Good run by Rob Crouch. Just going by Tim Delisle there. Up 7 spots for his starting position. So great run for Rob. Gonna try to run down Pizzica in third.
Yeah, you can run down Pizzica, but making the pass on Pizzica is going to be very hard. He's known for very aggressive defending. And Delisle, oh, big curb bounce. And here's that replay with Fabio and James. Just look at the run that Fabio has. From out of nowhere, the next thing you know, passing 2 cars in the same corner.
Yeah, what a great move by DeCarmo. Had the run and took advantage of it. Really timed it just perfectly.
Fabio's moving up through the field, and I'm loving that new paint scheme he's running this season.
Yeah, you know, had some bad luck last season, excuse me, but you know, really.
It feels like a year.
Yeah, I know. Charlton up to 12th. He didn't even put down a lap to qualifying.
Feeling good, still rocking that Marlboro Formula 1 inspired car. Just a beautiful machine. And he's currently the biggest mover in the field.
Yeah, and still a ways to go.
But up ahead, not even challenged by anyone. First time I'm going to say this, I believe. Christopher Herbino.
That's what I like about this series, Austin. I mean, really, anybody can have a chance to win. I know Tim's pretty much been the class of the field for the last, you know, won the championship the last 3 seasons, but a simple mistake like that, and just how the race changes. So, I mean, just a great run by Herbino so far, but we're only on lap 7 of 21, so.
Yeah, 7 of 21, anything can still happen. I remember, and especially within 5 laps of the finish, watch out for these guys start struggling for grip in this 4.3K field. So I'm a bit rougher than most guys on the tires, so I expect these guys about 3 laps they'll start struggling with the tires.
He'll break just a little bit quicker than Herbino right now, about 1/10 of a second. But we're taking a look at the battle with James J. Pinkster. He's got Baja behind him and Delisle in front. We're looking back at Baja there. You see Baja and Freckleton trying to battle, get up to 8th for Pinkster. Way to rebound. I'm sitting 8th, you know, really not terrible for what happened.
Yeah, Baja didn't even have a front wing. No, wait. That was old. That was somebody else. It was his teammate.
He's got a wing.
Delisle still falling down the field. He's going to finish out this race if it kills him, but I'm surprised he hasn't gone for a new wing at this point.
You know, you go for a new wing and you're back, you know, quite a ways and still sitting in a good spot. You kind of have to make up that decision. Hey, if I'm going to go in pit, am I going to get back up to 7th place? So, I mean, he's probably...
Well, he's blitzing through the field. It's just that I'm pretty sure Delisle doesn't want to be passed by everybody, because he knows he's faster than everybody else in the field, and he would have more fun, but I don't know. I feel like he's just going to try staying out and just accepting it right now.
We'll try to see if we can get a clean lap in. His last lap was a 1:46. You know that wasn't clean. We're taking a look at
That's
Herbert.
6 seconds slower
Yeah.
than everyone else. 3 seconds slower than everyone else around him.
We'll see what he, yeah, 145 there. That's a second and a half between them. So you know, you don't know. I mean, but we're taking a look at Herberto and Ilbrink. You see the time differences as Ilbrink is getting a little bit quicker the last couple laps. We'll see if he's able to close the 4-second gap on Herberto to make it a battle for the lead.
And oh no, around goes Pinsker in the arena, spun up the tires coming out of turn 4. And Pinsker does have some side pod damage on the car, but that was a big hit on the curb and just upset the car. And this is in front of him, as we saw that. Here's Omar Baja looking down to the inside of Tim Delisle and making that pass with ease.
Yeah, it's definitely not Pinksker's day for sure.
Tim has to know that he has damage, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
He's not getting a meatball, though. But it is hurting his pace massively.
Yeah, about a second and a half slower each lap.
And 3 wide, they go down the hanger straight. Up in front of them, Freckleton and Burns. But Freckleton down to the inside, and Burns jumps up ahead of Delisle. Battle for 8th. Hot right now here at Silverstone.
What a great power, great job by Robert Tarleton. I mean, up 13 spots. Yeah, you know, we've had a lot of incidents with drivers that have a lot of damage, but still to make it through 13 spots is still super impressive. Great run by Freckleton, who's on 12th too.
Now, a lot of smoke up there by Freckleton. Breaking into the arena to run on board Robert Tarleton as we're slowly closing in and going to try to make this a 3-way fight for 8th. Technically, it already is a 3-way fight, but here goes Burns down to the inside of Freckleton. Side by side they go. And Freckleton very deep on that corner. Here comes Burns on the switchback. Burns all up in that draft. Is he going to go for a daring move? He's going to look for around the outside. Who's going to have the bigger kahunas right here? Side by side they go. Freckleton down low. Burns stays with him. Pinsker going slow. More and more. There's Delisle letting Tarleton by through Maggots, Beckett's, and Chappell. They go. Freckleton, Burns, Tarleton, Delisle.
Yeah, Tarleton's he's on a mission right now, and his next mission is to get past Theodore Burns. Really good run for him as we are on board with that really nice paint scheme there. Also looking back at Delisle there. He's probably not used to seeing Tim in the mirror.
I don't think anyone's used to seeing Tim in the mirror, unless being lapped by him.
Yeah, I'd say I would be pretty used to him being in the mirror.
It would only be for like a second or two.
Yeah. Yeah, look at Tarleton. Take a look at a replay here. We're looking at
James Pinsker once more. After that incident with Delisle, it's just been downhill more and more for James. Here's that spin earlier where he got up onto the curb. And I feel like that's just nailing the coffin right now. And here's another incident heading into Brooklands. Are we going to see another spin-a-rooney? Yes, we do. And James, poor performance at his home Grand Prix. When I say Grand Prix, I mean race, but, you know, these cars are literally the same spec as a modern Formula 2 car without the halo.
Yeah, James going to be careful. He's going to pass through penalty pretty soon if he keeps spinning.
Yeah, I currently, if my iRacing safety head is going on right now, I'll be about 6 penalty points for loss of control, 1 4x for car contacts, and about, he's currently sitting at 13 for off tracks.
Looking at Tarleton here, trying to chase down Freckleton. As Burns got by Freckleton. Yeah, look at Burns there, just really kind of showing the way.
Yeah, Tarleton's just following these guys. He doesn't want to risk anything right now. And knowing Tarleton's style, it's a lot like just conserving it and just waiting for the right moves to come to you. He's not going to push it as hard as all these other guys. He's going to enjoy the race and take advantage of any mistakes that comes in front of him. But this guy has some pace. It's just he knows that to finish the race, you first must finish.
Yeah, you know, the great Dick Trickle said that, you know, it's great. It's great words to live by here in sim racing, because if you don't finish, you ain't winning.
That is true, and that's exactly. It's more the endurance mentality that helps out, especially in. Hermano, big wiggle.
He's pushing it. He is very pushing it. We're looking at Tarleton and Freckleton.
Tarleton is swinging around the outside of Freckleton right there. Tarleton is flying.
Yeah, Tarleton's fastest lap, 1:43.29. That's a second slower than Herberno's, but really on pace with everybody until you get to, I'd say Pizzica, that's top three. But that's Pizzica just ran his quickest time with the 1:43.08, but just showing a lot of paces. Tarleton looking at Rob Crouch trying to chase down Pizzica.
Crouch also in a new paint scheme as well. Really digging that matte hood he's got going on. But Rob Crouch pulls in on the gearbox of Pizzica. And we've seen Pizzica always dancing on that throttle. He dives down low, breaking off that draft. And swerving down the front straight. Pizzica is running a very retro livery from the 90s. I believe that's a kart livery?
Yeah, I'm from the 90s. Yeah, it's a kart livery, Austin.
And
yeah.
Michael Andretti's car.
Yeah, Michael Andretti's car. Yeah, I remember seeing glimpses of that when as a kid. Just really, it really sparked my memory. It was really cool to see that car.
I was more of a indie racing league guy. I know, I'm a horrible person.
Right now, I'm more of a 3.5 series guy, because this is fire between Crouch and Pizzica. Crouch at 7 spots.
Little bit of a mishap mid-corner right there. It's allowing Pizzica to advance, but Crouch is inside that massive draft bubble that the Formula 3.5 cars have. About 1 second behind him, and you just get swooped up right behind him, and as I get booed by Marco in the chat for liking IRL.
Yeah, these cars, within that second gap or so, and you get in the tow, it's going to pull you right back up. We're taking a look at the battle between Tarleton and Burns. Tarleton put on a lot of pace, but right now Burns is showing the way.
Tarleton's still in that draft of Burns, and he's just gonna. I expect Tarleton just to be sitting there for a while and just waiting for that mistake, or when he knows that he's got that move. So, and oh, there is a mistake from Burns. Very sharp exit.
Yeah, their last couple laps have been quicker than Baja and Enrique, who are in front of them. So he might just try to stay in line with Burns, try to chase those drivers down.
Burns trying to break off that draft right there, but it's not helping. And Tarleton not even following him, just staying behind him and just letting Burns do his own thing. Here, back to the battle for third between Pizzica and Crouch. Crouch going way off the track. And Pizzica also going off the track and displaying a little dust in the air.
Yeah, trying to fight for the last spot on the podium. They pretty much have been neck and neck the whole time. You know, Pizzica had an off lap. Crouch had an off lap. I mean, so they've been pretty much neck and neck, and that does help being in that tow. But you still got to drive the car.
Still gotta drive the car and still gotta be aggressive with it. And Simone Pizzica is one of the most aggressive defenders, so that fight for third is definitely something we want to be watching. As we're looking at this fight for 11th right now between Delisle, Bill, and Groom. And here comes Bill down onto the inside, still on the stricken Delisle. And he makes that move easily.
You know, gotta give Delisle credit though for having this bad luck that he's had, and he's just kind of letting him by. And you know, sometimes the higher skilled driver.
Groom, big wiggle and spin, but he saved it. I need to find another word for these guys that are just sliding. Oh, it's sliding. There it is.
Blew a tire.
Nah, I didn't blow a tire. They're so inflated.
That's a hockey term, blew a tire, when someone falls. I tell you, look we got Pizzica, Crouch, just going for the final spot in the podium. You know, the guy we haven't really brought up much, is the guy that's been trying to hunt down DeCarlos, Enrique, who's running in the 6th spot. Great run for him. Just a solid run up into up 4 spots from starting. He's using the luck he had from last week, and or last season. It's really done well so far. Great job for him. A lot of big.
I don't know what you were doing last week, but nothing happened.
I wasn't here last week, and I wasn't here the week before, so I'm just so used to saying last week.
Well, it's week number 1, so
I know.
You need a reset button.
Yeah, I tried to hit the reset button. I hit the reset button on my sim computer, and hopefully that helps me out.
I don't think that helped you out.
I just did it. But man,
all right. As Avery reboots his PC to rejoin the session.
Yeah. Urbano is just putting on a clinic right now. He's been running a couple tenths quicker, most laps over Ilbrink.
Well, he is the fastest car in the field right now, even with Delisle stricken down. He was up there, always challenging for that lead. Amazing start by him off the line, immediately around James, and up into second. And well, the driven driver is certainly driving it on for a good show today. It's actually Delta Sport, but he does have a driven sponsorship on there.
And
It's on his front wing.
Yeah, this is it's a very beautiful race car there. Whenever I see something that I like, I just have to say something, because it's just a great looking car.
Too pretty. Also, another pretty car, Paul Ilbrink's car in that Radicals online racing car. Pizzica and Crouch. Pizzica running that classic edge. Whoa, wait, that was a weird line for Pizzica.
You know, we've had a lot of mistakes in this race and a lot of incidents, but you know, a wise man once told me, a mistake is only a failure if you fail to learn from it.
Didn't James J. Painter say that?
It's in his biography.
Who said that? Did he quote it, or?
I don't know, it's in his biography, but still, that's a very true statement. You know, if you make a mistake, you got to learn from it. And Tarleton right now is just kind of hoping Theodore Burns makes a little mistake so Tarleton can get up to the 8th spot, but Burns has been running really well. We're taking a look at Groom.
Groom and Josh Stewart. Stewart trying to swing it onto the inside and now holding around to the outside, but oh no, Stewart got to the back of Groom. Massive net code right there, but oh no. It's a poor exit by Groom, great exit by Stewart, and to be right on board with Luke Groom side by side with Stewart. And Stewart, great turn in, but Groom had to lift off the throttle just a little bit to avoid spinning around, but unfortunately the little tap already sent that design happening. And we also have another incident, hard falling down the field with Sander Dignam. He's lost 2 spots. And up ahead, airs Burns and Tarleton as we brought on board Tarleton. Tarleton's got a good run. Tarleton looking around the outside. Tarleton and Burns side by side. Heading into one of the fastest and trickiest corners of this circuit. Charlton letting Burns have that corner. And Burns wasn't even thinking about lifting off right there.
Yeah, Burns playing defense very well defending that position. But it's lap 16 of 21. Take a look at a replay here. This is Sander.
Royal chicane. And oh no! Perfect 50-50 grind entry onto that rail, then a spin, but that is incredibly unfortunate right there. This is not Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1+2.
I was just going to say that.
But that was a heck of a grind he did.
Yeah, really going for the combo there. Unfortunately, the spin out takes away the combo, but hopefully he gets back going.
That was a 50-50 nose grind. I think he was doing an ollie at one point.
Try to kick
somebody needs to take like iRacing crashes. Oh no, that's Freckleton. Freckleton, Royal chicane. He approaches the Tony Hawk's American Wasteland or UK Wasteland at this point, and he hits the curb. A little back kick right there and avoids the wall. But that curb is taking out everybody today, just like the curb at Laguna Seca taking me out in an IndyCar race when I'm in the lead.
I tell you what, those curbs are not very friendly, you know. And
well, they're
take a look at the
they're 1/4 of the size of your tires, so they're definitely gonna rough you up if you hit one. And here comes Burns and Charlton, same corner, same situation. Burns on the inside, Charlton around the outside, side by side they go, and they almost touch on the corner entry. This is getting dangerous between these two. 5 laps to go here in Silverstone. And this battle for 8th is extremely fun to watch, and I gotta love these cameras that Marco's giving us right now.
Yeah, it's got a nice little shake and shake, and really like it. And what I also like is this battle for the final spot on the podium. It's Pizzica and Crouch. And that Michael Andretti replica.
Pizzica, I just saw a little bit of a curb right there and almost hit it.
Yeah, you can't hit the curb. We've seen it many times in this series, and especially today. You hit the curb and
ooh, Crouch looking around the outside, got right beside him. Crouch already planning a move. The downforce racing driver against the I don't know where Simone Pizzica runs with, but I will say the Javelin driver for this point.
None.
The Andretti Autosport driver there. Speaking of Andretti and IndyCar, Nashville GP. Bridges, iRacing, please. Bridge boys, I want the bridge.
And this battle for 3rd is just, I mean, they just cranked the heat up to about 8 or 9, and it's almost ready to boil.
Well, Crouch was looking into move, heading into Maggots, Beckett's, and Chapel as they race through there. Right, you're coming off the exit, and Crouch is looking ready to pounce right now. And Pizzica's running out of room to defend, so he's resorting to swerving down the straight. More than a serpent would. Ron on board. Pizzica looking back at Rob Crouch. Crouch all up in that draft. And he's just looking for an opportunity to strike. Both of them taking very different lines, going out all the way to that curb. And once again, Pizzica diving out to the pit wall, going back out front to take that racing line. And Rob Crouch still with him. And here comes Crouch. Crouch taking the regular line. Pizzica defending onto the inside. Pizzica's back end gave a little bit of a wiggle onto the exit. Pizzica upset on the curb. He gets another wiggle.
And look who's lurking back there. That's Fabio DiCarmo, just lurking, waiting for those guys to start battling a little bit more. Pizzica gonna try to maintain the left side there, but yeah, there's DiCarmo just kind of lurking, waiting for them to go a little more side-by-side action to hopefully slow them up.
Yeah, Crouch taking a very wide line, looking for that exit line, heading into this quick right-hand flick. And Pizka's all over the track, swooping down across the nose, just swooping back in front of him. In some series, that would be called a double move and be absolutely illegal to do. Crouch and Pizka. Pizka riding up onto that curb. These two guys, it's getting heated, and it's about to reach boiling point between these two.
DeCarmo's almost within a second, so he might be getting into the toe soon of Crouch.
Okay, Pizka. Okay, Pizka. That's a little bit ridiculous what you're doing.
I like it. I like it. Keep it coming.
This ain't NASCAR. Pizka holding it down to the middle line as Crouch just following close behind the DFR driver. Keep it safe, and Pizka's got a bad wiggle right there off the exit.
Yeah, big wiggle out of Pizka, but it hurt him. It didn't hurt him much. I'm surprised that his corner exit was actually as good as it was.
Well, it's a very slick corner, but Crouch is still taking that outside line and taking that racing line. I really want to watch this battle from Crouch's perspective because he's just inside, outside, dealing with the swooping Pizka right now. So we got 2 laps to go here in Silverstone. Pizka now going way wide on the track, way down low as they head into Brooklands. And here comes Crouch looking around to the outside, which is going to turn to the inside. Side by side they go into the braking zone. Pizka trying to squeeze Crouch as much as he can, and he does get Crouch clear from his side pod. And he's going to lead another lap, and here's DeCarmo. He's joined the fight for third. And now we're back to the S games.
I love it. I love it. Keep it coming.
He's putting all of his cards on the table, and Fabio's just watching this and expecting on what can he do to get a move on Crouch and Pizka at the same time. And I have a feeling Fabio is going to make a move on Crouch when he's not suspecting it, because he is so focused on... I don't even think Crouch knows that Fabio's there.
I don't know.
Oh, here comes Fabio. Crouch defending onto the side. Crouch is sending it into the chicane.
Super aggressive move by Crouch, but Pizka pulls
And
away.
oh, look onto the exit. Crouch is holding on to the inside line. He got his wing down in there. And here comes Fabio swooping down low. Fabio's got the move on Crouch. Fabio onto the inside of Crouch heading into turn 1. And Fabio sweeps ahead of Crouch. What a move by Fabio DeCarmo. Now Crouch onto the inside of Fabio. This is the fight for 4th and the fight for 3rd. But Crouch unable to get past Fabio.
See if DeCarmo's has a DRS.
All these guys got DRS. Actually, Pizka does not.
Not quite sure, Bruno.
And Fabio DeCarmo, one of the drivers that drives still with a G27 wheel. That thing's ancient, but hey, it still works for him. White flag is out here in Silverstone, and Simon Pizka still continuing this game of I'm not letting you have my draft. Don't touch my purse.
He's all in. He put all his chips in there. Wants to maintain the final spot on the podium.
If anyone's a King of the Hill watcher, you got that reference. And here comes Fabio! So close to Pizka! Down Hanger Street they go! Pizka, Fabio, Crouch, weaving and swerving, ducking and diving down the back straight, but it's all eyes on Christopher Herberto, taking race number 1 here in the Formula 3.5 Challenge. Back to the fight for 3rd. Pizka defending down low. Crouch looking on to the outside. Crouch onto the inside now. Fabio DeCarmo trying to hold it around to the outside. Side by side they go, but it's Pizka for 3rd. Fabio DeCarmo for 4th. Crouch for 5th. Paul Ilbrink, 2nd place. And here's Robert Carlton. And oh, big spin for him. And other drivers, Theodore Burns, because another spin. Yep, just gone to the inside curbs. Big spin and fly around. And there's Charlton. I think he's going to get past Theodore Burns right here off that mistake. Yeah, he is.
Hey, what a great job by Urbano to get the win. Man, I tell you what, Ilbrink, fantastic drive. But, you know, got to give Pizzica some credit, though. You know, made some real aggressive moves. And, you know, maybe it was a little too defensive. But, hey, he's got on the podium. And just a fantastic race. You know, we had a lot of issues. A lot of the heavy hitters had problems. But this is a lot of fun. Week 1 was so much fun, Austin. I can't wait for next week.
Week 1 was absolutely fantastic here in Silverstone, and I can't wait for the next round already because the Formula 3.5 challenge is already off to an amazing start here in Season 4. As we look at our results, Christopher Herbano takes the win for Delta Sport for UK Falcon, ahead of Paul Ilbrink in that Radicals Online Track Racer, followed by Simon Pizzica, Fabio Ducarmo, Rob Crouch, Jason Henrique, Omar Baja, Robert Tarleton, Theodore Burns, Cedric Bill, Josh Stewart, Dave Martin, Tim Delisle, a rare 13th, followed by Dylan Freckleton, Luke Groom, Pete Tinkler, Ramiro Guerrera, Sander Dignam, Joss McCutcheon, and Steve Honan in 20th. They're followed by Edward Samborski, Antonio Navarro, James J. Pincer, Shane Russell, and Greg Olson is your grid for today. 22 finishers here, but Avery, what a race we've had today. And I believe we have a few drivers waiting to get interviewed right now. Currently, it's not Christopher Herbano right now, but we do have Paul Ilbrink standing by with us. So, you know, let's talk to Paul before, well, waiting for Christopher. So, Paul, you got me?
I think so.
Well, Paul, it was a very, well, sort of all right qualifying for you by your standards, but you finished the race in second after a crazy mid-race incident.
I don't know what happened. Like, I didn't practice a whole lot, so it was a little bit of sloppy qualifying for me, but P6 was not too bad. And then yeah, the top 3-4 seemed to drive quickly away as well. I overtook Greg on the second lap. But yeah, I thought, well, this is about it. Probably going to be fourth or whatever I was at 10th time. And yeah, saw James coming out of the gravel and Tim being really slow. So was back in P2, and from that, yeah, Christoph was just like a little bit too far ahead. And I wasn't like consistent enough to put him under any kind of pressure. So just P2 for me today, which is fine, I guess. Yeah.
Well, a P2 is always welcome for you, and heck, that was a great race you did. Kept it consistent. I don't think you put one wheel off track today because all of our cameras were focusing on drivers who made mistakes, and I guess the only mistake you did was probably that little off track you had at the start of the race when trying to avoid getting side by side with Sam Borski right there. But other than in-traffic stuff, you just kept it absolutely perfect.
Like a small slowdown, I think, one lap in Beckett's, but yeah, other than that, was relatively clean. I think didn't make too many big mistakes. So yeah.
Well, Paul, you finished on the podium in round 1 of season 4. Hopefully, we see you here later for the next round, and maybe hopefully next week. But before we let you go, anyone you want to thank?
Well, thank you guys for doing a good broadcast again this season. My teammates at Radicals Online and our partners and sponsors, Armor Centrum, Cranfield Simulation, Track Racer, Joe Real Timing, Turn Racing, MOATF Podcast, Six Sideways, and Pixel Dust.
Well, congrats, Paul, on second place there today. We're gonna let you go now. You, sir, have a great afternoon, and well, we'll see you next week.
Yeah, I think I'll go to bed first, but yeah.
Yeah. It is 1 a.m. from there. I'm American. I don't take other times into consideration. Well, yeah, Avery, who we standing by with next?
I guess we can bring Tim up here and see what he saw from his point of view. Hey, Tim, you got me? I guess Tim isn't here.
Well, he's poofed. I don't think
Yeah,
Tim
I don't think he
wanted
wants to
to
talk.
be-
I think you know, unfortunately, if you are watching and you did finish in the top 3 or so, make sure you try to jump in the Discord next week if you want to get interviewed. But you know, unfortunately for Tim, it was a rough race for him. But Austin, anything?
Well, it was a great start to season 4 of the 2020 year for the Formula 3.5 Challenge. The cars received a lot of updates, and I'm going to say the driver participation is going to go way up through the season. We've had over 50 drivers register for this race, and I'm going to say that number is just only going to be rising up higher, because this is the most fun car to drive on iRacing. Thank you, everyone, for joining us for the iRacing Formula 3.5 Challenge here on Apex Racing TV. I've been joined by Avery McDonald, Mark Barbanera in the production booth, and I'm Austin Knight, and I hope y'all have a great night.